I don't actually think I have told you what I'm doing. This is our master bathroom. So the way we like to decorate or fix up our house is usually like steps, because eventually we want to redo a lot of things. But step one is normally paint, decor, and kind of live with it the way it is. So far we've painted, we've like changed out the sink, faucets, things like that. Obviously lighting, decorations, but not much else. Since then, we got a little leak in our ceiling, and my husband has fixed it, he's patched it. Neither one of us are very good at mudding. I keep telling my husband that I'm going to try to get into it because I feel like I could, I don't know. But anyway, so it's a little rough. And so I was trying to figure out, instead of hiring somebody to make it really perfectly smooth, figure out another option where it's rough but you can't tell or it doesn't matter. So I was going to put wallpaper up. And even though this room is fairly small, that was going to be expensive, at least the ones that I found that I liked. So I'm going to paint the ceiling black, the same, hopefully. I found a black in my paint shed. I think it's the same black. I need to be better about like writing down what paint colors I put in every room. But I'm going to paint it black. I've ordered a stencil, and then I think I'm going to do a stencil on top to kind of make it look like wallpaper, a lot cheaper, and hopefully the pattern up there will like kind of conceal any roughness that we have left over from the sheetrock. So this window is so bright, it's not going to be a great picture. It's probably going to be blown out or in shadows or something, but let's paint the ceiling. Why did I do that to my hair? Let's paint the ceiling. All right, here we go. So while we're waiting for my hopefully last coat of paint to dry, the stencil came in. I haven't looked at it yet. Now might be a good time to tell you that I have never used a stencil. And I'm going to try to use it on a ceiling. Hey guys! It's a few days later. Work and co-op and life. But here we are. I am trying, my goal is to wrap up the ceiling today of our bathroom. I've put it off a little bit because, like I said, I've never stenciled before and I have no idea. But here's my stencil. And I went to gather my supplies. I'm trying to do a lot of projects around the house where I'm not spending money. Or at least a lot of money. And so I went to go buy gold paint from a store because I just wanted a stencil in gold. And it's just so expensive. And so I was like, you know what? I'm sure I could figure something out. And so I went and like, y'all, spray paint. I even like sprayed it in a jar to see if like I could use that to stencil. And then I was like finding like little craft paints of gold and thinking like maybe I can mix it with white to make it more, just trying to figure it out. And I was like, I'm just gonna like hazard, like just figure something out. And while that would have been a lot of fun, I went to my paint shed to get like a white to do a base, and I found a gallon of gold paint. When we got this house, it came with paint that my in-laws have used over the past couple of years, and there happened to be gold paint there. So although this would have been fun, we are going to set this aside and just use the gold paint because I think that'll be easier, not as exciting, not as interesting, but easier. And I am going for easy today. My mother-in-law, who has stenciled, gave me the idea of, instead of just taping it up with masking tape, which you would typically do like on a floor or potentially even a wall, since it's the ceiling, she told me to use some spray adhesive, spray it on the back, let it sit and get tacky so it doesn't peel up your black paint, but then it'll stick without making a big mess, and like a good stick, so it'll be crisp, clean lines. I have enlisted the help of my husband today because I'm very like nervous about, you know, like our house, it's an old house, like even nothing is straight, nothing is normal, and so every time we do a project it ends up being harder than we think it's gonna be. But I'm outside, got my spray adhesive, got my stencil. Is that too much? Too little? How long do I wait? Here's the gold paint I found. Let's go figure this out. And true to form, I'm too impatient for my husband. He's still feeding the animals. Let's see if he joins me or if I just figure it out. Y'all, this ain't working. Hold on, I'll just show you close though. This is terrible. But up close, look how bad that looks. Oh no. All right, let's talk. The motto around here is, it's just paint, right? Mm-hmm. It's just paint. So here's where we're at. This didn't work. It's no big deal. I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna paint it black. Here's what I'm thinking. I do love the gold. The gold looks good. I think it looks awesome. So I still want to do something with gold. So do you want me to try to paint something more meticulous? Stripes? I'm kind of over. I just want to hand paint. Like if I do stripes, I want it to be like a freehand stripe, not like an exact stripe. I don't want to worry about painting and measuring. I just want to paint. So the other thing is, instead of like doing a pattern to make it almost look like wallpaper, I can faux finish it with some gold details in there. I've never done that before, so it might look terrible. I don't know. And just try to like make it look gold, black, old. Yeah. Here's the plan B. All right. I had to send my husband away because I'm about to stress him out. Because I already have to paint this black. This is already wet, so I want to practice some techniques while it's wet, so then maybe when I go to do it, I'll have a better idea of what I'm doing. So I have my black paintbrush from earlier when I was painting. Wow, sorry. This window is making the lighting atrocious, but I'm just gonna, I don't know. I'm gonna play around. Watch and see. I don't know. I'm going to check back in a few minutes. I work better when I'm listening to music or an audiobook or a podcast, so I'm just going to focus. I'm going to keep playing around with it and see if I can find something that we like that works for us. Here we go. So I'm at the point of any good project where you go, what the heck am I doing? Oh, okay. So what I've done, I didn't wait for it to dry because I just figured, if I've said this, I'm just repeating myself at this point, but now is a good time to try out some techniques. So let me flip my camera around and show you some things I've just played around with. I'm about to get my husband's opinion too. We might just scrap it and paint it white. I don't know, y'all. Let me show you. Okay, so unfortunately the gold highlights those rough ceiling patch right there, but So you see on like the bottom left where the birds were painted, I kind of just like scrubbed them off, thinking that it might potentially just look like, you know, an old ceiling that was painted that has just worn over time. And then on this little patch on the top right was just the gold, just kind of blended it in, made it look kind of old world gold. And then I did my little X's right there just for something a little more modern and fun. So that's what we're working with. I don't know yet. I'm gonna see what Kaysen thinks. We might just try something brand new, but this is where I'm at so far. That part where you want to give up and cry and go to your room, but you're an adult and you can't. So let's keep going. So our motto around here is it's just paint. And that is true for mistakes, and that is also true for whatever you decide to do. All that being said, is I talked to Kaysen and we're gonna have a chaotic ceiling. I'm gonna keep going with the craziness that I've started, and I have a good feeling a vast majority of you will hate it. And I also think this will be something that in a couple years I will too hate. But currently, I think it's fun. So, my house, I get to do what I want, and you get to watch me, and you can have a normal, boring house. I'm saying all this to make myself feel better, but let me show you where we're at, what we have decided to do, and like I said, I'm sure it will change at some point, because we did also realize that the black ceiling does make this room pretty dark at night. I mean, we have this big, beautiful window, which really helps, but at night, it's really dark. All right, as you can see, I've shown you most of this, like these little X's right here. I love them. The way the stencil, and then I kind of wiped it off a little bit, looks really cool to me. And then over here is where I just like did a black and white, just kind of rubbed some black and white, oh my gosh, rubbed some gold on the black. I did some dots. I'm about to cover those up a little bit, and then I did a second stencil up here. I'm gonna let that dry for a little bit, and then I am going to kind of go over it like I did this. So with that being said, we're gonna do all of it. We're gonna like this vibe right here, although the circles I am gonna cover up a little bit, but this vibe right here is what we're going with. I'm going for that this ceiling is hundreds of years old, and every person who's lived in it has added another layer, and it has worn and patinaed over time. We're gonna have a fun little chaotic ceiling until we hate it. So let's keep going. Guys, I'm about to run out to a soccer game. We're losing the light, and I really want to get this done today, so I'm going to give you a quick after. Kaysen still has to install the vent over the vent fan. He got sidetracked with all his animal farm chores he had to do today, so he'll do that tomorrow. Maybe he'll film like a little clip of that for me, but I have to go to work tomorrow, and so I won't be here to film this, so I just want to do a quick, here's what it looks like. So let me give you a little tour and show off my ceiling. All right, y'all, here's our bathroom. I'm gonna pan up to the ceiling. I love it, guys. I think it is unique and different and just a perfect addition to this tub room.